Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Jayth. Welcome back to another episode of Road to Earnings, where I duo with a zero-earned player and try to make him his first earnings. In today's episode, we actually made our first finals together. We played the Performance Cup, which is a champion division only tournament, similar to Cash Cup, but it's only 2 hours long, and you only have 5 games to play. And we qualified top 50 to the finals. Make sure to like and sub if you do enjoy it, and let's get right into it. I'm super proud of how far me and Sales have come. We went from 80 points to 110 points to 125 points to now qualifying to a finals. And yeah, I'm very happy with our progress. And I'm recording this video Friday night right before FNCS opens, and I expect to do really well with Sales. I expect to make heats, and from there hopefully we can pop off and make grands. So in this Performance Cash Cup, right now we're just getting into the first game, our W key game, and we were keying, but not too hard. There was other pros in the lobby, as there are less players that play the Performance Cup than there are that play the Cash Cup, so there's less drones, so you can run into pros more often in your first game. We saw that Trashy and Rise were in our first game, and we focused them and we got them killed pretty early, actually. And we pulled enough zones to play height here. Now, because it's first game, and I've said this a million times in my videos, when you are a good team in first game, you are going to be looking for height. You're going to try to take out the other good team that's on height early so that you can get all the kills, all the rest of the kills, and get the most points that you can. Now, this team immediately just starts cranking, and I didn't want to go ahead immediately, but you're going to see they're going to look at us. And I'm building up, and I'm building in hards. They can't chop us yet. This guy tries to ramp me, and he actually gets over me a little bit. I thought I coned him there, but I still hit him for 107. And now I'm just trying to dive in his box because I know how weak he is. But that ends up stalling a lot of time. And another team starts to look up from the back there. And I think at this point we should have just held our builds, used armored walls and connected. But instead I tried to drop down, and they just chopped us out. We were so high up, and I'm gonna go down here. I didn't really realize how high up we actually were. I had so many splashes and mats for Sales, so I'm telling him to get to my body, and Sales is gonna go down. So that's a little bit of an annoying first game. It's 21 points. It could be worse. And in the second game here, we're a little bit tilted, so we take a mid-game fight. We're gonna lose it. Sales got boxed and didn't take one down with him. A little bit of frustration, but it's okay. In our third game, we're taking another fight here. We had pretty good loot to do it. I'm gonna max pump this guy, crack the other. I missed his pump shot. We're able to take out this guy, and we take out his duo partner as well. Moving on from that, we hit a beam off a player on the pad. I'm gonna hit him 120 with a nice little flick, and now I'm asking for Sales to kill him. He kills him out the air. That was perfect. And we see a third party fight. I'm gonna push over to here. Now, because we saw the fight end and we didn't see anyone building, we assumed he was rezzing, so I pretty much just ran right in there. We're just keying, going for walls. 44 white. Dead on 1. Dead on 2. So now we're starting to frag more in this game. We're getting our kill points up, and we're super stacked for endgame. Look at all this loot. Now, Sales is so funny, bro. Now we pull first moving in this zone. In this first zone. First moving. Wow, I'm just tripping over my words right now.
People are gonna be swimming here, and then we're gonna grapple it.
Try like open it so people think that they know how to start and it's just over.
At first we were thinking about sitting in the back a little bit more and looking for, a drop down or anything, as we had these old builds, but then we realized that we should just rotate here, and especially because it goes up a hill, we probably should have went a little bit earlier. We do have the grapples this game though, so I'm going to go on this outer side and try to grapple around edge, and that works pretty well. I tried to stay elevated because of the mountain, and sprayed. I'm gonna get to Sales. I'm holding for him. Now we can splash. And now looking forward here, it just looks really sketchy. because there's, you know, builds everywhere. But I noticed that this team that was in brick actually went down, so we can just use the same layer. Sales is gonna block the back.
Come to me. Let's spray down.
Down here. Good.
We're gonna look for a double spray on these guys. Almost crack one.
Pull that way. Maybe can we pressure it into that?
I go for a wall here. I'm gonna get it. Miss the cone. Hit the wall.
Come back.
They get third partied. We're gonna be able to get the body. So even though we don't get the kill, we get a nice little mat refresh. And now we're gonna use our grapplers to get ahead. Now we see these guys fighting. I actually get a wall. And we can double pump this guy. Now instead of going up to where the players had my sidewall, I'm just going to drop down the loot. Someone had already taken all the mats, unfortunately. I'm going to splash Sales, make sure he doesn't go down here. This is very sketch. We're just going through other people's builds. Trying to edit the cones as best as I can, but very chaotic. Sales is playing as a solo, which is good because he's low. I don't have any whites for him though.
I don't have any hides either.
I don't know either. Looks like I had it.
Now, even though we're second height with wood, I know we can play it for a little bit because I do have these 4 armored walls to protect our top. Go for a double spray on this guy in the back, just super coordinated. We're able to take him out, and now I'm going to drop on the finish, and we can play ultimate low here. I get all the mats, caps my wood out, gives me some good break. Now I'm trying to cut this team off, and I should have made a better edit than that window there. He's going to pretty much just hop in my box. They do cut us off though, so I have to go one out to the right here. And then because, you know, they could easily make this stair a cone, I'm just going to armor it. And I can pop minis. We find some old builds here. Where we can just reset. We're getting aggroed by height. So either they have no mats or they're going for aggressive kills. This is when I'm going to use the armored walls. And I tried to go for a pump shot on them and it does work, but I think I should not have built a ramp and I should have just mantled up from the side. Or I could have just built over them since it looked like they had no mats. But building that ramp lets them know that I'm about to go up from that exact side. Maybe I could have done like a fake ramp. You know, ramped out to one side and went up the other, but just ramping up like that was definitely a bad play, and I'm probably not going to do something like that again. So we end up going down, but it's still not a bad game. You saw we had a lot of kills, and we got a decent placement. We camped that building, and we were able to get a free kill from that. Camping buildings is nice. You saw us go down to that in my last video from the team camping in the attic. Now right here, I get stuck and boxed so quickly because they're a good team. I almost kill one. It's Pledge and Polarized. That was just a genuine mistake by me. I got way too close to their builds and didn't expect for them to be so ready to box me there. But Sales is going to do a really good job clutching up this game. He's got the loot to do it. He's got good weapons. He's got a lot of mats because he hadn't split me his hards yet, which is really good because I didn't die with a lot of mats. And he's got a lot of splashes to play Storm, and playing Storm as a solo is always like a really good bailout. What a shot. When Sales is on, he's on. Like he's just hitting hundreds back to back to back right now. Now he's gonna aggro this fight, which is really good from him. He gets the wall, able to get a free kill, 2 free kills. And now I don't know if I think he should have dropped his minis for his splashes or for floppers there. Probably would have been better. But that just gave him so many builds and also the grappler to get ahead, really. Now Zone plays far, and instead of tarping, he's going to wait and then grappler ahead to save his mats. He notices that height is spraying that team, so he's going to go down one layer before landing on top of them. He doesn't want to go above that team and start getting focused himself. So a really good play from Sales. Now, he grapples ahead, and I think this layer is pretty good. I'm coming for him to build all the way ahead. He's still in full built metal, so no one should really aggro him, or easily at least. This team looks for a jump shot on him, but he's going to get out of that. Now he goes up one more. I don't know if that was necessary. He could have just stayed in that box. He still had splashes as well. Now he's going to grapple front side here. And he's going to drop to ultimate low ground. And he wasn't getting sprayed by height yet. Now I kind of had said to him after this game that I don't think he should have dropped to low as a solo. Because, you know, the duo is just going to run through you. But who knows? It could have worked out in his favor had things gone differently. But typically, if you're not getting sprayed from height, there's no real reason to drop to ultimate low until you start getting sprayed. You try to like ride it out as long as you can. Now going into this last game, we had a full, the zone before this was fully in the water. This was stacked with like 70 surge. We did a really good job rotating early, but our mats were scuffed, and luckily we found some old loot to make our mats what they are right now. And this rotate was a little bit shambles. It goes up a hill, and I was not early enough. I'm kind of hesitating on what to do here, and I know we have splashes, so I don't want to rush. I know we can sit and storm if we have to. But the qual was 98 points here, so we know we just needed a little bit more. And trying to clutch out these last couple points for some reason is like the hardest thing in the world for me. This is like typically where I would say I would choke. We would come up just short. We were so set up to have a good game, and then something goes wrong, like we get sprayed down or something like that. I feel like that is the Jayth classic. But luckily this game, you know, we don't choke. And even though we have such low mats, I'm just going to run and sprint ahead. I'm going to use pretty much all of my wood to get in. I've got about 18 builds left. We're going to splash to full, and at this point we can just play zone with our splashes. That kid is one. Eventually I'm going to get the kill on that guy. He's going to die to zone. Trying to find Sales. Now I am fully out of builds, and from here we're just going to sit and wait. I'm gonna do what's called pushing this team through, which is where you use their tarp and you aggro them to change layers so that their tarp then becomes yours. Except for the part that we don't aggro them, so we pretty much just use their back tarp. Now I'm calming that we should go down and look for a player with no mats. I get a refresh here. Sales goes off to the left. We kind of focused on two different things. I'm gonna find this kill and slide ahead. I didn't get the wood, unfortunately, but I get siphon mats, so I get just enough to get in. And luckily, zone plays back. I'm gonna find this really good kill on Coop. Super clutch. We get a full mat refresh and a shotgun. Now, after those two kills and two sets of placement, I'm pretty confident that we have qualified, but I'm still trying to clutch just in case. I'm gonna get my cone just to get some info. This guy sees it immediately, excuse me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprint through. I almost get boxed, but I'm going to make it to the front side. Now I have 3 builds. I'm racking in the placement points here. I hit a nice shot, a 170, but I'm gonna die to storm before I can get the finish. But 99 points ended up being enough, so we clutched that out and we made the Performance Cup finals. And in the finals, we didn't have a drop spot. We were conned at Reality Falls, and it was kind of a shit show. There was only 4 games. We didn't even play the last game. I was pretty tired, and we weren't doing too well. So we didn't make our earnings in the Performance Cup finals, but I'm confident that we can make Cash Cup finals this week. and hopefully make sales his first earnings without having to play FNCS Grands. Hopefully we can just make it in a cash cup and have like a stress-free FNCS. But I'm really confident that we can do well. I'm glad I ended up playing with sales, and I'm excited for you guys to see the rest of these videos. It's pretty crazy how much better we're getting at the game just from playing all these tournaments together and scrimming and VOD reviewing and all that. So, you know, leave a like, drop a sub to my boy Sale and me. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.